Welcome back, everyone, to our playthrough of the career mode here in NASCAR Heat 2. So in our most recent video, we got the victory in the trucks at Charlotte. Now we're going to have an opportunity for the double. That's right, opportunity for not only a truck win, but an Xfinity win in the same track in the same weekend. But it's going to be a little different in the Xfinity car, as we're going to have a ride with a three-star team at a 1.5 mile track. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of speed we have and how we can stack up against the 4 and the 5-star teams with the AI. So without further ado, let's head to the track and find out. All right, folks, so here we go at Charlotte in the Xfinity cars. And we are starting at the back, which isn't really a surprise to anybody. All right, so we go through turns 1 and 2. This is normally where they pull it way ahead of me, but not this time. I'm worried about being on the bottom here. I don't particularly want to be on the bottom. All right, so I am going to be lifting and braking going into the corner because I'm not sure exactly how this is going to go. Okay, it wasn't too bad. They definitely lifted. I would prefer these guys get a little bit more spread out. Same thing here. I'm trying to move up the track a little bit. No, they're not going to let me. All right, so we'll move back down the track. I normally like to get, and I am definitely using the brakes right now. These guys, you can see they're 3 wide up ahead of us. All right, so let's stay on the bottom, it looks like. I do not want to be 3 wide. So I will definitely be braking going into turn 1. Can I slide up the track? Nope, he's not going to let me up. There we go. Finally, I was able to get clear. I was waiting on my spotter to say all clear, but I wasn't sure if he was actually going to be able to give me that. All right, so right now, I'll tell you, the way I'm driving this thing is essentially just to stay off these guys. Ooh, I am way off the gas right now. So I'm going into each corner. I'm backing off the throttle and using the brake as well to make sure I give these guys as much room as possible, and hoping that they will do the same thing for me. All right, yeah, they're slowing down quite a bit here. So I had to get almost completely out of the throttle there. You can see the AI making some erratic moves on the straights for sure. And that is, whew. Yeah, it's hard to do that on this track, particularly with these cars. Hard to get up the track and make some passes without getting into the wall if you're having to take it 3 wide. Now, if they'll get spread out, we can use the bottom of the track, we can use the top of the track, because you're passing them one at a time. All right, now you can see, all right, I could run through this corner wide open because they were single file. All right, now we're going to be single file ahead. When we can run a good lap, which for these cars is easily wide open, but when we get to a point where we can do that against the AI, this is where we find out what kind of speed we actually have compared to these guys, and are we going to be fast enough to get to the top 20, top 10, top 5, and so on. All right, right now we're making a lot of passes, as you can see, through the corners. Had to really pedal it down the straightaway there, as Keselowski was crowding me. All right, so we're coming up on top 15 now. All right, now we've got a little breathing room. All right, lap 8 of 26, so we've got plenty of time. and we've made our way up into the top 15. A little bumpy down there at the bottom. Let's see what kind of lap time we can make while we're in this open track. Woo, a little loose there. That weird part of turns 3 and 4. The weird thing is, as loose as that gets, at no point do I really do much of anything with the steering wheel, because at no point do I feel like I'm going to spin out. So I essentially just let it do what it's going to do. As exaggerated as it is, maybe counter steer a little bit to keep it from being any worse than it is, but you're essentially not in any trouble of spinning out, so it's not an issue. Just lose a little speed. All right, now it looks like the top 13 are all up here in a wad. Some of these could be lap cars, but we're only 11 laps in. Surely we don't have more than maybe 1 or 2 cars that would be this much slower to be lapped this quickly. But you never know. All right, so these guys are running side by side, and they're going to make it very difficult for us to pass. All right, I'm going to try to take it easy through here, because we're up toward, again, if all of these are lead lap cars, then we've reached the front of the pack. All right, if we can set this up right, we should be able to make this pass in turns 1 and 2 on all 3 of the cars you see in front of us. Nope, it did not work out that way. Sorry about that, Elliott Sadler. I'm gonna back off, give you a little break here. Luckily, the AI are extremely hard to wreck. It can be done. I've done it, but it is hard to do. All right, so we just reached the halfway point. That's one of the few things the spotter is saying that I can actually hear and understand. Ooh, Clements is really cutting us off there. Now the interesting thing is, keep in mind, we're in a 3-star car, and we're here at the top 10, running just outside it. Now I'm sure our momentum is factoring in here, and for some reason this is where the AI gets kind of silly. You notice they're running all the way on the straightaways and in the corners on the bottom, which is ridiculous. That's not how it works in real life. These aren't Indy cars. They don't have that kind of grip. I mean, if you want to run the bottom on the straightaways, you can, but it's going to cost you a lot of speed, and it's not costing them a lot of speed. So it looks kind of ridiculous. And once again, you can see the 7 car exited the corner on the bottom. Now he stays on the bottom, which would normally destroy his entry into turn 3. Oh, hello. Hello, 7 car. All right, so now the question becomes, how far up through the field can we get? These guys are racing hard with us. We're just on the outside of the top 5 at this point. All right, so we make the pass. We're now in 6th position, not running side by side. 9 laps to go, and it would appear as though the top 5 is directly in front of us. So let's see if we can catch them, and then if we can do anything with them, if we can catch them. I'm actually going to hit the A button twice. helps track our progress a little bit. So we're 1.1 seconds behind Ryan Reed, who is in 5th right now. Let's see if we can narrow that gap. Oh, look out. There must be a bump there that I'm not feeling that's doing that to us, because I don't feel anything when that happens. That's the weird part of it. Which is a testament to the force feedback, among other things. All right, so you can tell even before our little incident, we're going to stay off the bottom here. See if maybe it won't be as bad. Yeah, see, I didn't get anything this time. So it must be a bump on the bottom that I'm not feeling. And if I'm not feeling it, I can't know exactly where it's at and try to avoid it. So we'll just run a little bit higher. That should take care of it, it looks like. All right, so we're now 1.5 seconds out. And it looks like they're basically running the same speed as we are, aside from our flirting with being dead sideways. Looks like they're not really gaining any time on us. We're not gaining any time on them. And what this does, among a few things, but mostly what this does, it gives me ideas about moving forward when we sign a full-time ride with an Xfinity team. Gives me some idea that maybe we can just sign with a 3-star team in Xfinity and run just fine. Because we're definitely running just fine here. You know, we don't have the speed. Yeah, it looks like they've pulled out. Well, now it's teetering between 1.5 to 1.6 seconds. So they're running faster than we are by a little bit, but not a lot. So we were looking for a top 25 finish, and I would say we've got that. All right, we'll go ahead and clear off the screen. Not that many laps to go, and you can see, unless something happens and these guys really start slowing down, we've got nothing for them. It's just really disconcerting to see them running the IndyCar groove around this place, sticking to the bottom all the way around. All right, so we're coming up on our last lap, and it does look like we're getting a little closer to them. No, we're not. Just my own issues. Eyes playing tricks on me. All right, so you can see, if you look behind us, there is nothing in the rearview mirror. And also, we're not making any ground on the ones in front of us. So it looks like we found the spot where we can compete with a 3-star car. With the momentum, we come in easily in the top 10 and just outside of the top 5. So that's very interesting. Now, the sad thing is we got 105 speed rating for that. We shouldn't be anywhere close to a 105 speed rating, the maximum speed rating in a 3-star car with or without momentum. So that's a little sad. That definitely should not be the case. All right, so we'll take our 6th place finish. Of course, the point standings for us are going to look a little weird because somehow we're in 24th and have definitely not run all the races, and we've won 2 races in the Xfinity series. So interesting point standings when you have somebody who just shows up every so often winning races. That is not, by the way, a cup driver. All right, so we'll head back to the main screen and let's see what we got. So nice job with that top 25 finish today. We'll keep you in mind for a ride next season. Thank you very much. So Brandonbuilt Motorsports. So far, so good. Things are running according to plan with the hot seat offers, as well as running according to plan in the truck series. All right, so let's see what the options are. Now, last time we went for challenging. And let's see, in the next 5 races, we have to get 5 top 5s and 4 wins. Is that right? Wow. Or we can go for, in the next 5 races, all top 10s, and at least 3 of those have to be top 5s. Or we could say, nope, we're only going for top 15s. Now, in my case, hey, we're not going to do anything but the most challenging. No reason not to, really. The money doesn't mean anything, so the payout's not a big deal. We're going to choose the most challenging. And now it is time to head to Dover. Wow, now that should be fun. We've already been to Dover once in our introductory season in the truck, so it'll be interesting to see how that contrasts with how we're able to do this time around. But that will be in our next video. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more career mode playthrough here in NASCAR Heat 2.